Hey, what's up, shitheads? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be on the ETM RTR once again. I just got done installing the Trumoto 6.7 powertrain mod upgrade kit, and it completely transforms the way this bike rides. Right out of the showroom floor, this bike is an absolute ripper, but this turns this thing into a handful. Truth be told, guys, it's kind of a liability at this point. This thing is a rocket. You put peak output of up to 13 kilowatts. I mean, you get complete throttle control mapping, phase amps. I mean, you can just go completely nuts with this thing. Guys, I think this makes the ETM RTR the absolute best electric pit bike you can buy. What, you guys want to sit around and talk about it all day, or just go ahead and get right into the video? Come on, let's get started. Here it is, guys. Isn't this thing absolutely adorable? This is a tiny little bike, and it is a ton of fun. Probably the funnest bike I have to ride at the current moment. I picked up this one from Rev Rides earlier this year, and if you're interested in buying one, but I'll have the link in the description for that if you're interested. The controller install itself wasn't too bad. I live in an apartment. I don't have a lot of space. It gets cluttered. I get really frustrated, so I don't film the installs, but take my word for it, guys. It's not that bad. But if you want to watch me start cursing, throwing things around, getting my knuckles bloody, maybe I'll film the install next time. I have a few mods under this bike since I've got it. I have the 35 amp hour battery. I have the high torque motor, higher bars, the Trumoto Lite V3 controller, which is what comes with this kit, and I have the headlight kit. I really like the fact that ETM offer these parts right from their website. You know they're going to fit, everything's going to work, it's all integrated together. It's awesome. You have a couple options when doing this kit. I already had the motor, so all I had to do was buy the controller. The controller by itself, I believe, is $369. Comes with a different throttle, and it has a different 3-mode selector switch. But the real beauty of this kit is the ability to tune and rate this bike to ride exactly how you want it. The truth be told, I haven't really messed with the settings that much. I'm not really one of those people who like to just sit there and tweak with settings. I like to ride. So I've messed with it a little bit, but I was riding with some people who was talking about phase amps the whole time. And it's like, hey, you want to talk about phase amps? Go to Reddit or something, go to a forum. I would rather just ride than sit there and tweak with the settings all along. So I probably won't mess with it too much, but for the purposes of this video, I'll show you a little bit with the app. So here's the Trumoto app. You connect to your controller with Bluetooth. When you initially set it up, you have to do a couple of steps. You do not want to put it up for full throttle. They do give you pretty clear instructions, but just do not plug it all in and go full throttle before you connect it to the app and go through your calibration. Here's how easy it is to change your settings. So you have low, medium, and high, which would be 1, 2, and sport. So on low, these are the stock settings here. It's 6.21 kilowatts. 8.32 horsepower, 85 battery amps. You have 350 phase amps, speed, regen. This kit also adds regen. Medium is now 8 kilowatts, which is higher, about the stock output of this bike is 8 kilowatts. And high. But anyways, if you want to make changes, you just slide through here. One thing, it does give you a warning, at least as of now. If you go higher than 150 battery amps, it gives you a warning saying it can cause excess heat and whatnot. I don't know, I didn't really read it. Here's a brief overlook of the app. Really easy to use. I mean, it's just these simple sliders. And then you can pick here your vehicle, ETM RTR. You have to choose that in your initial setup. The battery you can do this on the Lite, the RTR stock, the mod battery. And don't think you can just put in any old battery here. You actually had to scan a QR code on the battery. So I think it knows if you have a legit battery. It gives you 2 motor options. You have the high speed mod motor or the high torque. There's actually an option now to get to high speed, but when I bought my motor, I bought it before this, and it was the only one available was the high torque. Throttle, you just click calibrated and you go run through the settings. It tells you what to do. You just go full throttle and off, and it's super easy to calibrate it. And here you can adjust the throttle aggression. I have it on 25%, and I really like the way this throttle feels. So overall, this app is super easy to use, very, very intuitive, no problems at all. Big buttons here. I think you can, anyone can pretty much mess with this app. But enough about the app. What do you say we go out here and take this thing for a ride? The cool thing is ETM always gives you these cool handwritten notes and stuff when you buy their products. It's look at this. ETM Electro & Co. Send it. Thanks, Jonathan. Send it where? There's no return address. I don't know what you're talking about, Jonathan. So maybe next time you say send it, give me some further instructions, because I really don't know what you're talking about. All right, here we are out on the modded out RTR. And the first thing I noticed I mean, this throttle is super responsive now, but the amount of torque you feel from this thing is crazy. It's just really, really torquey now. Just really, really sensitive now, but not like jarringly so. This is just in mode 1 here, which is 6 kilowatts. I mean, this thing is just, it's an absolute unit now. Actually spent some time today or yesterday adjusting the suspension. I mean, all in all, this bike is small, but this is like, it rides really good. The RTRs are built solid. These are built for adults. They're built for heavier riders. So like, yes, it is a small form factor, but this is a solid bike. This is, sometimes you start to notice the limitations of the smaller tires, but let's go ahead and switch over into mode 2. Yeah, this bike is just a ripper now. It was a ripper before, but now this is like, it's a handful. You kind of got to watch it on corners, watch how much power you're putting in because it can loop on you. I imagine if you're a wheelie guy, this would be like a wheelie person's, a wheelie guy's dream bike. It just completely transforms the way this bike rides. What's kind of cool is I've done this in steps. I didn't do it all in one shot. So I got the battery first. Obviously, you didn't really notice anything from the battery except more range. And then I got the mod motor, the high torque motor. And believe it or not, changing nothing at all, no tuning, no nothing, just putting the motor in, you definitely notice the difference. It was the same top speed, but you really could notice the torque difference between that stock motor and the torque motor. And I think that's all just the how tight they wind the motor and the amount of winding. So, okay, let's see what top speed we get here. Man. 40. Yeah, we're actually not going too fast now, 47. It doesn't really need that fast of a top end. Where this bike excels at right now, so much usable power in that mid-range. It's like riding a completely different bike. Okay, to show you how easy it is to change the settings. Okay, this has 56 mile an hour top speed. I don't know, I'm just gonna change it to 6,600. I don't really know what I'm doing. I believe phase amps is what controls the top speed. The higher the torque or phase amps you put, the hotter the motor will get. So it was at 250. Let's put it to 300 here. You click save, and it's gonna ask you, is your wheel in the air? Saving the settings. 30, 40, 47. Well, it looks like we got the same top speed, up to 355 phase amps. Let's see now if we can get past 47. 30, 40, 84, 46. Put the phase amps back to 250, but I put it out power output of 12 kilowatts now. 40. Well, it looks like we're still around 45, 47 miles an hour. I'm okay with that for now. I'm guessing there's ways to unlock it. Maybe there's limitations of this torque motor. I don't really know, to be honest, but this mid-range power is crazy on this bike now. Okay, being as I have the high torque motor, I was hoping to at least get 55 miles an hour out of this thing like it does stock, but you know, I'm guessing there's a way to unlock that in the settings. Guys, granted, I just got this, I'm not an expert, but I have the high torque motor, and this thing excels at having high torque, believe it or not. And you really notice it in scenarios like this. The mid-range power on this bike is through the roof now. It's just like the throttle is like super responsive. I'm just in mode 1 right now, and it's having no problem with this. But I'm gonna go up to a hill that I previously tried to climb when this thing was stock, and it ended up overheating and wasn't able to make it up, at least in one sitting. You know, for a direct drive bike, you would assume that this bike has some sort of gear reduction, but man, it just like has so much torque, it's crazy. This is just 6 kilowatts right here too. And I honestly feel like if they just sold the bike like this, with 6 kilowatts being the peak, most people would be pretty satisfied. This thing is no slouch. Supermoto's on it, maybe get the high speed motor. If you're gonna do stuff like this or all terrain, then go with the high torque setup and do knobby tires. I'd be interested to see what differences people are getting with the high speed motor setup. But this bike is so fast now to the point where you can't just mindlessly go flying around at full throttle, because this is really fast. Stuff will sneak up on you, that's for sure. Here's the hill that it overheated on before. I don't know, man, it's weird. Just even partial throttle, I can just tell it's gonna have no problem with this. But what you don't pick up from this video is this is extremely rocky. Man, it's just easy, it's no problem. Wow. It's just crazy. It's just going right up with it. I'm not even using full throttle. Wow. This thing climbs like a billy goat now. This is so rocky. Well, the motor's hot. Yeah, the motor's pretty hot, but it's not flaming hot. You live in an area like this, you'll be able to take this thing anywhere you want to go. This has a 35 amp hour battery. I'm probably 5 or 6 miles in. We're showing 65%, but if you're familiar with the ATM batteries, these things go down immediately. And this controller has regen. There's no regen throttle, but I'm sure it sounds like you can add one. There's an option in there. But it's nice, kind of controlling our speed down this hill. And you can change the regen per level. So what I might do is to put regen on level 1, so pretty much off, so I can coast, and then have regen on level 2 and 3 be more aggressive. So in essence, the mode selector switch is your regen switch. This thing is crazy fast now. You start giving it the throttle, it just starts sinking down in the rear and it just goes. Another thing I would definitely recommend is get the gold, the higher strength chain. Can you guys hear that? And the throttle has a power band, almost like a gas bike. It's so linear. It's cool. I mean, you can just really change each setting how you want it. I'm actually going to turn mode 1 down a little bit. I'm going to go down to 5 kilowatts in mode 1. So I have high at 11 kilowatts, medium at 8, low is at 5. Let's see how that feels. Turn down. I did notice when I had regen at the max setting, when I was doing the speed test, as soon as I let off the throttle, you'd feel it transition between power to regen, and I felt the rear wheel kind of jerk just a little bit. So I'm going to turn down the regen. I don't want to have it too strong because it's not the smoothest feeling while you're out there. Yeah, it's weird. Every time I flash this thing, it's now the mode selector switch isn't doing anything. So it's I got to power cycle it after every time flashing the computer. Mode 1 feels in 5 kilowatts. Oh yeah. It's definitely slower, but now it feels like this is more of an eco mode. So it's kind of cool. You can give one mode where you can just get a lot of range. You can set the regen how you want it. You can free coast. So it's nice that you can adjust all that stuff. But honestly, like I mentioned before, I'm not really the type of person that's going to sit there and change the settings over and over and over again. Kind of get to the point where you get them where you like them and you forget about it. But it looks like they're going to be having updates for this app because there's some of the messages in the app say they're actively testing it, and they'll know which torque settings cause more heat and whatnot. So I'll be checking in with this app every so often to see what updates there are. But I don't really feel at this point like I really need to tune this thing to the bleeding edge, because even at 10 kilowatts, this thing is plenty fast enough. I don't need it to be really any faster than that. So I think honestly, if you're going to be doing all this, you're going to change the battery and the motor and everything, you might be better off just getting the RTR Lite, because you're changing most of the parts, and at that point, the only thing you're really not getting, you're not getting adjustable suspension that this one has. Before, when you were in situations like this where you're on a hill and you go to give it power, you would feel it struggle a little bit. But now, I feel like you could just sit this thing on a 90-degree angle and still be able to crank right out of it. This bike is just going to be able to take you absolutely anywhere you need to go. Ooh, super soft dirt through here. Woo! I do not like riding in sand. Woo! This thing is crazy. It just has so much power, it doesn't stop. I imagine at some point this would overheat it for sure, but that is crazy. Definitely not best suited to ride like this with the stock tires, but holy crap. This bike is so responsive in the mid-range. It's just crazy amounts of torque. I'd say maybe it's not beginner friendly, and not because the install was fairly easy. The app is easy, but the amount of power this thing puts out now, I mean, I'm 250 pounds and it feels like a handful to me. So I can imagine if you're a lighter rider, this thing is just gonna be insane. You know, I had an E-Ride 2.0 that claimed to have an output of 12,000 watts. And this thing, even at 10,000 watts, even in the mode 2 setting, which is like 8,000 watts right now, feels faster than that by a long shot. I mean, it has a faster top end, but there's just so much more torque and throttle response on this than the E-Ride 2.0. Look at this. This is God's country out here. There's nothing the ETM RTR with the mod motor kit controller can't handle. If I see something out here, I'm almost 100% certain the RTR can make it up any of these hills. The only limiting factor would be these stock tires. Traction. It's just great. It's so fast. I don't need the highest mode. And I have the mid mode set to 8,000. I mean, this thing is like absurdly powerful. It'd be nice to figure out a way to get some higher top end. I'll have to look into that a bit more. You know, this is really only ridden this a couple times with this new controller setup, but it's like a whole new bike. This is crazy. You guys have, it's kind of like my first ride and impressions of the Trumoto 6.7 mod kit. This thing is crazy. You know, where I did lose some top end, I'd like to, you know, look a little more into that, see if I can get this thing at least back up to 55 miles an hour. The amount of power this has in the low end and mid-range is insane. Completely transforms the way this bike rides. This bike now safely exceeds my ability to ride, where I have to be careful when I'm riding this. So don't feel like the stock bike is a slouch by any means. These bikes are quick. This turns this bike from a quick bike into like a race bike. This thing is crazy. It's a lot of fun. And for the price, I feel like, what is it, 679 bucks, you know, with the motor and the controller? That's a great deal. You're basically completely transforming this bike. The nice thing about it is it's 100% up to you. You can tune this thing up, down, left, right. You can go whichever way you want. And you can even go on the Facebook groups and argue with other people why your settings are better than theirs. But anyways, guys, if you're interested in ordering one of these, you can buy it through Rev Rides. If they have it in stock, you can use my coupon code STC5 to save yourself 5%. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.